Okay. So I want to verify if everyone can hear me loud and clear before I proceed. I want everyone to hear me very well. You guys in the session, I want you guys to hear me well. Okay, now you guys can just send a message in the chat box. So now we have the sweep of structure here, the break, and what do we have here? This is our what type 2 scenario, right? So this is the structural liquidity before the break of structure, and this is from the daily time frame, right? So we're just trying to see what is happening on VTNS, right? What is causing the sell currently from the daily? We have what sweep, right? We have a break of structure. Remember what I said? Let me just break this down. This is a high. Markets swept this high, broke structure. Now, before the break of structure, market gave us what? A structural liquidity, right? So price has come back now to take out the structural liquidity. And what do you expect to happen? An expansion from where? The internal liquidity to the external liquidity, right? So you expect price to come here. Now, price, if you notice recently, price has been bullish, right? So now why is price bullish? Because this is daily time frame. And look at this huge bullish price action here. Now, if you notice, there are some POIs which or some structural liquidity that market has not taken out. Remember that market doesn't just move straight, right? Market doesn't just drop out like this, right? If market is selling from here, market to make series of what? Lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, right? So after the lower high, you expect for what? Another dump again, right? You can see that's what the market is doing right now. Market is making what? Another lower high to come down. So that lower high that it makes is coming out to take out what? A structural liquidity that is sitting around here, right? This is why I said time frame, multi-time frame analysis is very important, right? Because someone that is just trading only the 5 minutes will be looking for sales, not knowing that what price is coming backward to take out a structural liquidity on, let's say, the 1 hour time frame. Okay, are you guys following? Right? Someone doesn't know that what price is coming back to take out the structural liquidity on, let's say, the 1 hour time frame, right? Because price is selling from this high. So at the end of the day, we expect what price to still come and take out this low here, right? So now let's check what's happening on the 1 hour time frame. Remember, I said multi-time frame is a multi-time frame analysis model. It doesn't just happen on one time frame. You have to check all time frames to understand what's happening. Look at this price action right now. Price just started reversing. Look at this huge price action on VTNS. Now, some people believe that okay, market is suddenly buying, but no, market is coming out to take out what? A structural liquidity which it has not taken out. Okay. Now, on the 1 hour time frame, you guys should obviously know what happened. Price obviously swept out this high, broke structure. I think this was a previous one I called in the group, right? Which price obviously missed, right? It came back to take out this one on the 1 hour time frame. This is why I said multi-time frame analysis. It's just the same thing. It happens over and over again. All you just need to do is just to be what? Patient. What we have right here, we had what? A sweep of this liquidity, break of structure. Market came to what? Take out the structural liquidity again, right? Right here again. So you can see that price has been respecting what? The sales. Sales, 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 sales. What do we have here? What do we have here? Do we have a sweep of liquidity, right? So the reason why I don't really value this, look at this, a sweep of liquidity here. There's a break of structure. There's a structural liquidity right here. Now, if you look down on the 1 hour time frame, you can see that what price is still selling, right? This is what a sweep of this high, break of market structure, a structural liquidity, boom. Okay, so now, please, are you guys following? Please, are you guys following? Are you guys following?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So now, if you look closely, right, we had what? A sweep of this high, break of market structure. Market gave us what? Our type 1 scenario. The one price did was price swept out this liquidity again, right? Remember, I said always be patient, right? Once you have a directional bias, it's going to make everything simpler, okay? So what price came to up into our entry, then sold to the downside. We had what? Another sweep, break, but there's no structural liquidity here, okay? No structural liquidity, which means that you'll say there's no setup here, right? So now, if you notice that the recent price action, price has been bullish, right? Why is price bullish? Because price is coming back to take out what? A structural liquidity, which it has failed to take out, right? So now, what do we have here? If you go down to your 2 hour, you can check your 2 hour, your 1 hour, whatever time frame you want to check, right? We have what? A sweep of this side. Please use that. Mute
I
your
don't see
mic.
this. I don't see the link, sir.
Use that. Mute your mic.
Oh,
please, reach your mind, please. We have what? A sweep of this high, break of market structure. Then what do we have here? This is what our type 2 scenario right here. This is our protected high. So this is V10S, okay? So you guys can check when this session is done, right? This is our protected high right here, right? So I think price has what swept out this protected high and is selling, right? Which means that what we expect price to come and still sweep out this low, okay? Now, initially, if you missed out now, this is for people that missed out on this entry right here, right? So initially, if you missed out on this entry right here, you can still go lower. You can still go down to your lower time frame, which can basically be your 5 minutes, your 15 minutes, whatever. Now we expect our price should just continue, keep on selling, right? So what do we do? Go down to our 5 minutes, right? That's why I said always analyze from the higher time frame, firstly, to actually understand price movements. Now, I saw when this market was reversing from this high, right? So what you want to do, you want to look for what is structure, right? Your structure shifts, your break of structure, and what you now want to look for what your inducement, right? So now what do we have right here? You want to look out for your sweep, your break, and inducements, right? Wait for it to present, then you execute. Okay. This is a high, this is a low, this is a high, this is a low. I have a sweep of this high, I have a break of market structure. Now there's no valid pullback. Okay, there's no valid pullback right now. But for instance, if price comes back to give me something like this, okay, so now I'll put my this thing from this what from this high, my Fibonacci from this high to this low. Okay, so now if price eventually pulls back up, right, to give me something like this, then sells back down, then I can then look for my entry, waiting for what price to come and sweep out the structural liquidity right here, giving me a protected high over here. Then I'll be looking to sell from this entry, right? Very simple. You can go down to your 10 minutes, you can see it as well. So now we're looking at V10S. If V10S comes to give us this right here, break structure again, and I'll be looking towards have a sell entry here, right? So I don't know if you saw how I just came up with this, right? Yeah, you have to let it make sense to you. This is why I said top-down analysis every time, okay? Top-down analysis every time. You can see how we were able to actually understand what is currently happening, right? We're able to actually understand why price was actually buying. Okay, so the reason why price was actually buying because it had to come and take out what another structural liquidity which price eventually missed. Remember what I said, price will always come back to take out structural liquidity. It might not be today, but it will eventually come back. That's the reason for all these buy price actions here. Okay, it's the reason for all these buy price actions here. Buys happening right here. As I said, don't be clouded. If you actually understand market structure, all this movement or all this noise right here is not going to affect you because you understand what is happening right now. Okay, so now price has taken out the structural liquidity. This is the POI right here. It has taken it out right now and it's selling. So what do I expect to happen on VTNS? I expect VTNS to do what? Have an expansion back to the downside. Now, the lower time frame, what do I want? I want to see what a valid SPI here. It can be your type 1 or your type 2, right? It has to go in line with your bias, right? So this is the daily time frame. You can see how I broke it down to the daily time frame. So you guys will ask your questions now, but I just want to show you guys something. So I broke it down from the daily, right? This is where price is selling from on the daily time frame. Okay. Sweep break, structural
Yeah.
liquidity. Okay. Price selling from here. You expect what expansion what to take out this slope. So we know that at the end of the day, market structure is going to do what? Take out this slope here. Okay, so now what you want to do is to trade in the direction of the market till market takes out this low. So anything you're taking what in direction of the market is what you call A plus setups, right? So now markets, I'm just doing a recap right now for those that missed out. Okay, so sorry. Now, market took out the structural liquidity. So from here, right? So price gave us what another structure again, and it's selling from here on the 2-hour time frame. Okay, right? This is what's happening right now on the 2-hour time frame. Market came to take out the structural liquidity and is selling from this side. So what I'm looking for, I'll be looking for what a re-entry on the lower time frame. If market presents a re-entry, I'm not just going to trade like that. Remember what I said. If market gives me what my structure, right? Remember that what we have what a structure here. We have a sweep of this high. of a break of structure, but I don't see any valid structural liquidity yet, right? So I want to see market pull back into my 50% level right here. If it breaks structure again, then I'm looking to take a setup here. And this is what you call an A plus sell setup. Okay, boom, something like this. Okay, are you guys following? Are you guys following?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So any questions before we check out
Yes. I have a
right?
question.
Okay, go on.
Using
Yeah.
Fibonacci. Because
Okay.
I think at sometimes I get confused on where to place my Fibonacci. At times to align with maybe V10, but then on V10S it won't work, or maybe I'm placing it wrong. So I just really want to know how to use it properly. Because if I can, then most of my problems would be gone.
Okay. 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 All right. So now let's just do this before we quickly move, right? For instance, we have a high, right? Break. Okay, we have a break of structure here, right? Then this is what our structural liquidity, right? Something like this, right? So now, you know what I said about a valid structural liquidity? A valid structural liquidity should be when price pulls back into your 0.5 or something like this, right? This is a valid structural liquidity right here. This is invalid. Something like this is invalid, right? You want to see price pull back here or something like this here. It has to at least come into your 0.5 level, right? So now you take your structural liquidity, your Fibonacci from the high, right, towards the break of structure. This is the point at which price broke structure here, okay, like this. This is the break of structure. So you put the what at you put your Fibonacci low at the low at which price broke structure.
7 by 6.
Who is
You know,
that? Mute your mic, please. Who is that? Okay, so now you put your Fibonacci to the low of the breakout structure, right? So you can see price give us what a valid pullback into the structural liquidity, into the Fibonacci, then this is valid. But for instance, if price actually stopped here, right? Let's say for instance, price was here, then this is what you call invalid. This is what I'm not going to take, right? Something like this is an invalid structural liquidity. Okay, are you guys following?
Yes, I'm following.
So now this is the
But
reason. Okay, go on. Please want to proceed.
but sorry. But there are times when the break of structure can be really, really small. It's almost beside your new high or your low. Or it's not just big enough to consider it as a break of structure at some point. So do you simply use that or like you use another one entirely? I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense.
That. Let's just quickly proceed with all that. So I'll come back to that. Okay. So now let's check V10 to actually see what's happening. Okay. So for those that missed out the analysis right now on V10S, you can go back. I'm going to upload the video after this session. Okay. So now this is V10S. Remember what I said when you're trading, you want to first of all establish a direction. Okay. Establish a direction when trading because you can't just enter the market and trade anywhere. It doesn't work like that. Okay. You want to actually understand where price is actually coming from and where price is going. Okay. Okay. So this is V10. This is the daily time frame. Okay. Now let's see what's happening. Price is selling from this high right here, but I think I had an analysis on this one and I was not able to understand what price was selling from here. So now let's go down to the 4-hour time frame to see what is happening. So when you're doing analysis, please just take your time with your analysis, right? Always take your time with your analysis. It's very, very important, right? Someone sent a question right now. Okay, 1 hour. So it's always the same structure, okay? It doesn't change, right? The same structure you trade today is the same structure you're going to trade tomorrow, okay? It's the same thing every single time. Now, we have a sweep of this high. This is a sweep of the high. This is a break of structure. Now, let's check if the structural liquidity is above, right? This is a valid, okay, this is an invalid structural liquidity, okay? So now this is how you can save yourself from avoidable losses. Now, I want to show you guys something as well. So for instance, now let's say you have a structure. I think I saw this structure on Jump. Was it on Jump 75, right? You have structure giving you issues of higher lows, higher highs. You have a break, something like this, right? And let's say for instance, you're on your 15 minutes time frame. Now, some people seem to get losses because they don't understand the simple market structure, right? For instance, on a 15 minutes time frame, right, you have something like this, right? And price takes out this high, okay? Something like this. So this is how I was able to avoid a loss on jump. I can't remember the price, but I did a quick analysis and I actually understood that, okay, yes, this structure is not going to hold, and that structure failed because of what? I actually understood what was happening. So what happened was that on jump 75, I think I was on my 15 minutes time frame or my 5 minutes time frame or so, right? So there was no directional bias, okay, for that trade. So I was looking to take a B plus setup, okay. But I noticed that what on my 15 minutes time frame, this is what happened right here. Price was actually selling from, or price was actually buying from this PY here, right? But on my 5 minutes time frame, I saw that price was making what? Sorry, price was actually buying from this high, but there was a little retracement. Okay, price was making a retracement here. So now on my 5 minutes time frame, because I was looking to take a B plus setup, remember what I said? A B plus setup is taken based on what? Trend. Okay, remember what I said? A B plus setup is taking what? Based on trend. Okay, so now I noticed that what price was actually selling on my 5 minutes time frame. So I was looking to take a sell. Okay, because price gave me what? Everything matched my criteria for my setup. Price gave me what? My sweep, right? Break of structure and my structural liquidity. So now I was actually looking to take out this sell here, right? Because I actually verified with my Fibonacci, and yes, this was actually fitting my criteria. But on my 15 minutes time frame, I had to go back and check, and I noticed that what price was actually buying from this high here, okay, and was making what a retracement, right, on the lower time frame to actually continue the buy to the upside. So now I have to delete my order because this was where price was actually buying from here. This is how I was able to avoid this loss. So when you're actually taking a setup, you actually want to see what is happening and to actually let it make sense. Okay, you cannot just jump into any set. This is why I always tell people, do not jump into any setup, even though it looks good. Actually try and make sense of that setup to actually understand what is actually happening on that market. Okay, it's just basic simple structure, market structure every single day. It's just market structure. Okay, always take your time with your analysis. Okay, even if you don't have a directional bias and you're taking a trend based on a trade based on structure, or let's say price is very bearish also, but please actually dig deeper to actually understand what the price. Okay, now, so what is that structure? So please, I want to actually show you guys something. So now this is jumps on five. Okay, this is jumps on this is jumps on five. Okay, so now on this is my daily time frame on jumps on five, right? You can see that what price gave us what a sweep of this high, right? A break of structure. Okay, I'm trying to actually see what actually causes buy here, right? If price actually comes to take out this high. Now I had a sweep of this low, I had a break of market structure here. So now if I take my Fibonacci level right here from this high to this low, sorry guys, sorry, please. I'm having a little network issue, but it's actually fixed right now. Okay. So now let's go down to the 1 hour time frame on Chart 25. Okay. Now everything is based on structure. Okay. So the best thing you should do is always try to understand market structure. Okay. Because that's just the basic principle when it comes to trading, right? You have to understand market structure. You have to actually understand what is causing a price movement. But remember what I said, any movement in the market is caused by structure. Okay. If you actually go back to your chart and back test, right? Because the main thing that people are facing is actually understanding structure. Once you can understand structure and liquidity, you are set for. Because if you can understand why price is making that action, if price swept liquidity and all those stuff, you could actually be very good in trader. Okay. So now this is the 1 hour time frame on Jones 5 right now. Okay. So you can see what on the 1 hour time frame, we're actually bearish on Jones 5. Okay. But right here, what do we have right here? Right? If you look to your left hand side, what do you see? Left hand side, okay. We had what low, high, low, right? Okay. This is a low, right? This is high, this is a low, this is a low. Okay. All right. I'm trying to actually see what's happening. Okay, so there's no value sweep here. There's no value sweep of liquidity because this is our high, this is our low, this is our higher high, this is our higher low. Okay, this is another higher high. This is so there's no value sweep of liquidity here, meaning that what there's nothing to trade right now. So now let's check jump 10. So I'm trying to look at the valid price action to actually see what you can expect to happen this week. Okay, this is I'm just doing like a market recap to actually see what we expect to happen this week. Just a very clean what pullback structure. Okay, now let's remove drawings, right? So now this is the daily time frame on jump 10 index, right? And you can see on the daily time frame we're very bearish, right? Let's check the 4 hour time frame. So I was not able to see anything quickly on that. Okay, 1 hour time frame. So you can see just do you once you I'm not seeing anything here, so I'm very quick with my analysis. Okay, I'm very quick with my analysis because I can't see anything here. Okay, let's check the 30 minutes time frame. Please use that. Which one? 15 minutes. Okay, so now this is why I said understanding market action, price action is very, very important. Now, someone would have seen something like this right now, right? Because we have what a sweep of this low, this is a break of market structure. Now you have price pulling back into your low, right? It's something like this right now, right? Then making what this is your protected low. Okay, something like this, right? So now you have this. Let's say you are looking to buy here. So now one thing you need to understand is that a lot of people fail to understand that the market is very manipulative, right? So now someone that bought markets here because price was actually buying from this high. What did market do? Market came out to take out this, then stop loss hits. Okay. So now what does this mean that what on the higher time frame, we are very bearish on the higher time frame. Okay. This is why I said B plus setups are very risky because I've been seeing a lot of people asking me, sir, my setup is not actually full because some people actually ask me this question. Okay. They ask, okay, sir, you took this buy, okay, but on the higher time frame, I'm not seeing what you're saying. I said the reason why I take B plus setup is why I take B plus setup because I can afford to risk that capital. A beginner trader should not be taking B plus. Why? Because B plus setups are actually 50-50. Okay. Now, this exact trade on jump 10, I took this buy. Okay. I just checked my phone now. I think I set the limits here. So I actually took this buy and I saw that I hit stop loss. Okay. Because I said, as a beginner trader, you should not be taking what B plus setups. Okay. You should not taking, you're looking for what A plus setup, like the setup what that we have what on VTNS. This setup right now, I took a stop loss right here because of what this setup actually fit my criteria. Why? I have my what sweep of liquidity, break of market structure. What the market do? Market actually fell into my criteria of what the Fibonacci level. Okay. Now price came back to take out my 50%, came back, then came back to tap my PY and started buying. So I took this buy when price was buying here on the confirmation here. I took the buy. What happened, right? Price actually bought a little bit, then came to take out my stop loss. Okay. This is why I said taking B plus as a beginner trader. Now I lost it, right? Because I can afford to lose it, right? This is what I take big profit of. But as a trader, if you are trying to build up capital and trying to get perfection, you should be looking to what? Take A plus, right? So now what do I mean by A plus setups, right? Like the way I analyze that VTNS, you should be able to actually understand where price is coming from and heading on the higher time frame. Once you're able to understand that, then you take what trades in that direction of the market. So now let's try and see if we have another example of that. Okay. I just want to show you guys a lot of examples, right? So you guys can understand this thing very well. Let me show you guys more examples of what I mean by that. Okay. Now you can see that what we have here, this low swept. Yes, this low was swept here. Let me see if this low was swept. Yes, we have a sweep of low of this liquidity here. This is a sweep, right? And this is the daily time frame on V25S. I want to show you guys an example of what I mean by what A plus setups. Okay. Now you have a sweep of this on the daily time frame. Price set out this high. Price broke this structure right here. This is the break of structure right here. Now we can see that what price gave us what a structure before the break. This is our type 2 setup. Okay, this is type 2 setup right here. Then what? This is our QMR here. Here. Remember what I said, price doesn't need to, if you actually watch all the session, remember what I said, if price takes out your structural liquidity, it can keep on, it can just start moving, right? So now you can see that price was just buying from here, okay? Meaning that what this was our direction here, right? Now on the lower time frame, to get your A plus entries, you can go down to your 5 minutes, 10 minutes, your 15 minutes to trade what's in the direction of this market. So price gave us what another entry again. So what do we have here? We have what a sweep of this structure. We have a break right there, but there's no structural liquidity here. Okay. Now let's check if price is actually selling from somewhere. This is the daily time frame. Okay. So let's check the 1 hour time frame. So all you need to understand is what structure. Or understand structure and you'll be set. Okay. Now, what do you have here? Let me check. Let me verify this, right? I have to always verify my liquidity right now. This is not something I would have taken. Yes, it looks good, but it's not something I would have taken. Okay. You can see that we had what a sweep of this liquidity here. Okay. Price broke structure, right? There's a sweep here, there's a break of structure, price then pull back into this high and give me what another structure here. Now, why didn't I take this setup? Why? Because of what? Price did not give me my criteria, because this is my Fibonacci from this high, from this low to this high. Okay, price didn't come below my 50%. Okay, so I would have not taken the setup. Okay, very simple as that. I have not taken the setup, and this is a 1 hour time frame on V25 index. Okay, I'm trying to remember the price action that we had this week on V100s. So please, let's use this time to actually ask questions, to actually understand if we're still facing any issues. Okay, I want everyone to be interactive here. Let's know
Please, I
where
have a
our
question, please.
Okay, please go on.
I'm talking about the market structure. You
Okay.
usually use a fib from one entry point to probably the break of structure. Why not use the fib Fibonacci to the other point? I mean, I don't know if you can
Yes,
draw something that way, so I'll
yes,
just
I
show
know
you.
what you're talking about, but to have a refined entry onto your this thing. But if you want to use it like that, it's fine. But basically, I backtested a lot and I've seen that what market structure holds more when you have what your structural liquidity below your 50% from the low to the break of structure. Okay. But if you want to use it like that, you can decide to do that. But from based on testing and analysis, I've seen that what I had a higher win rate with market actually using my Fibonacci from what the low to break of structure. Okay, I've seen that what more trades actually hold. Now, if you look at V100S, right? So now this is the daily time frame of V100S. Okay, we had what this sweep of liquidity right here, break of structure, and price was actually what buying from this guy here. This is protected low here, right here. Okay, so now we had what a structural liquidity from here. Okay, so now obviously we expect price to actually come and take out this high. Now, if you look closely again on this same structure, we expect price to do what? Come to this high. But here we had what? Price taking out this what structure high here. Now, why don't I believe this setup, right? Because I have a sweep of this high, I have a break of structure, then I have what a pullback into this high to this break of structure. Now, to me, whatever is happening right here to me is not valid. Why is not valid? Because of what we took out what this protected high here. Can you see this? We took out this protected high here. This is why I don't believe this setup is valid. Okay. Now, this is the 4 hour time frame. This is the daily time frame. To me, whatever is happening right now, this is just a fake out to come and take out a structural liquidity on the lower time frame here. There should be a structural liquidity here that price is coming out to take out, then to continue what? The expansion to the upside. Now, please listen again. I said what? We had a sweep of this high, we had a break of structure, then we have what? A pullback into this range. If you take your Fibonacci, you can see it from this to this. This is valid, right? But why don't I believe this is a valid structure? Now, for instance, let's say, for instance, price actually sold off from this level here, right? And actually came and started selling off. Then my bias would have been what? Market to come and take out this low here. But we had what? A breakout of this protected high, which means that this is not a valid structure. If you have what? A break of a protected high, that means that the setup is valid and it's going to fail. Okay, so price is just coming back to take out here. Now let's check out the lower time frame. Let's check the 1 hour time frame. Do you guys understand what I just said right now? Do you understand what I just said right now?
Yes.
Yes. So now that's what happened on V100S. Price is going to come and take out what? A structural liquidity, which price failed to take out. Okay. So now this on the 1 hour time frame, we have a sweep of this low right here. We have a break of structure. Then what do we have right here? This is a structural liquidity here. Okay. Right now. And this is the protected low here. Okay. This is why I said some people it might be confusing to them, but you actually need to take your time and understand structure. Once you can understand structure, I promise you this thing is going to get easy for you. Okay. So now what do you see that's happening right now? I think price is actually buying from me here. Okay. Price actually buying. So let me check my 5 minutes time frame. Always take your time to understand structure. Always take your time to understand structure. Once you can understand structure, I promise you this thing is going to get easy for you. Okay. So now what do I have right now? I have what? A sweep of this low, break of structure. Now price didn't come back to take out this, okay? Price might still come back in the future to come and take out this low, okay? But you can see where the price is actually buying from right now on the 5 minutes time frame, okay? Like this. So this was happening currently on V100S. Now, the reason why I said, because I saw some people saying that they have a sell bias on V100S. No, why is that not valid? Because I actually went to actually check the chart because I had a previous analysis here on V100S. Okay. And now my previous analysis was that price was actually buying from this low here. Okay. This is what happened. There's a sweep of this low, there's a break of market structure, and there's a pullback to create the structural liquidity. You can see that price respected this, right? So now this is the fake out right now. Because I know that some people will be taking sales, still looking to take sell price to take out this low. Why do I say it's not valid? It's not valid because price took out was the protected high. If it was going to be valid, then this sell would have held here. If this sell actually held and continued dropping here, then I said, okay, fine, this is what's happening right now. But price took out this protected. Once you see something like this, price taking out a protected high, then please just understand that that setup is going to fail. Okay, so this is what's currently happening right now on the 1 hour time frame. So if you're actually looking for setups to take on V100S, I'm very bullish right now based on my structure. Okay, on V100S. Okay, so please this week, please kindly watch out on V100S for bullish price actions. Okay, all right. So we have about 4 minutes. We have about 4 minutes here. About 4 minutes here. Let's check another one. Let's check another structure here. So this is why I said always do your analysis to totally understand price. Always do your analysis. Take your time. The analysis is more important than structure than taking a trade itself. Okay. The analysis is more important than that. It's very, very important. Okay. Now this is my daily time frame on V100. This is V50. Okay. Now it's not very clear here. So then I'll drop down to my 4 hour time frame. It's a multi-time frame analysis, okay? It's not just one time frame. Now, it's not as clear here as well. Let's go down to our 1 hour time frame. Okay, I saw a question here. Let me see. Good evening, boss. Please, can you throw light on key levels? Key levels. Please, my question is actually find directional bias and condensing top analysis. Okay, so please, it seems like I'll do another session again on directional bias. But if you actually missed the session from the start, I actually explain directional bias on V10S so you guys can watch it. So please, I'll upload this session, please, so you guys can watch this session and please backtest as well. Okay, so this is V50, and this is the 1 hour time frame. Okay, then what do you see right here on the 1 hour time frame? You had a sweep of liquidity, break of market structure, and this is what happened. This is the 1 hour time frame. This is a protected high. Okay, yes, this is protected high. Okay, this is a 1 hour time frame right here. Okay, So what do you expect price to do? If price is actually going to hold structure, then price should do what? Take out this low. Now, remember what I said. For instance, now, price, if let's say assume that price is actually buying from here. Now let's check to see if price actually buying from this low here. Meaning that what that structure that we have above is invalid. Okay. This is a low. Okay, this is a low here. Let's check. So you can see that there's no valid structure that is making price actually buy from this low. Okay, wait, let me see. Okay, now there's no valid structure that price is buying from. Okay, meaning that this is invalid. Okay, so now let's check down the lower time frame to see if we have a re-entry for this trade setup. We have like about a minute left. Okay, so you guys watch this session as well. When you guys are done, you can watch this session here. Okay, you can watch this session here. So you can see that this is a sweep of liquidity. This is a break of market structure. Now let's check if this structure actually fails within our criteria right here. Well, I have not taken the setup. Why? Because there's no setup actually pull back into my 50% here. But I'm still actually going to look for a setup here. If we have a setup above, then price might come back again to sweep that setup. I have a sweep of this high. I have a break of market structure. Then what do I have here? This is a structural liquidity here. It's a protected high here. Okay, there's another liquidity, is a valid zone to actually look out for sales again. I have a sweep of liquidity here. Okay, this is above the high, which means this is not valid. Okay, so now you have this. Let's assume you have a sweep of this high. You have a break of market structure. You want to see what your structure inside the sweep and break. Something like this is not valid. I saw someone trying something like this. Was it last week or so? Please, this is not valid. You're just going to hit your stop loss. Okay, you want to see what your structural liquidity inside your sweep and break. Not something like this here, because there's no point to put your POI here. You're just going to hit stop loss, okay? So I'm looking at this one as well. If I have my entry, I'm just going to sell from this side, okay? So please, this session is going to be uploaded so you guys can watch. Okay, so you can see how I broke out structure and how I broke it down to actually understand when to take entries. Okay, so for those struggling with entries, please watch this session so you can understand as well. And you can also message me as well. Remember I said my inbox is full, so if you actually send a message to me and I take long time, please you can just tag me as well.